husband's gonna work out with me today, but he's kind of in a weird spot. So if you see like a random hand reaching through, he's working out with us today. He's doing yoga. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, so we're gonna do something a little different today. We're still doing yoga. We've been doing gentle yoga every Wednesday morning, which has been super lovely. I just wanted to offer something a little different. We're going to do, I guess you could call it like yoga interval training. I don't really have a name for it. It's something that I like to do when I want to do some specific strengthening to, there's my cat, to a part of my body. And we're gonna sort of incorporate it into a yoga class that will do basically 3 sets of about 3 moves. And we'll do those moves for about 30 seconds each. So there's that sort of, hey Maggie, yeah, you made it. We did that, we'll do that 30 seconds. So that's where that like interval training piece sort of comes in. And then we'll take that first section and progress it 2 more times. Hi, Tara. Yay. So, yeah, so we'll do that, and you're welcome to, if, you know, we come to that progressive part and you'd like to take it back to one of the ones we've done before, absolutely okay. All right, so you take what you like, you make it your own, and yay, you made it. Awesome. Okay, so so lots of core strengthening today. Again, take it at your pace. I know this is slightly different than what our Wednesday mornings have normally been, but you know, change is okay too. So we'll have fun with it. All right. So let's just take a moment and find your mat if you're not there already, and just find a shape that works for you, that allows you to come to your practice and come to your mat and settle in. Maybe you've just had a cup of coffee and you're like, so find that seat or that shape on your mat. You're welcome to lay down if that feels better. And just making sure that you are in a shape where you feel okay to do a little bit of breath work. So if you feel fine doing breath work on the ground, that's absolutely okay, but maybe not lying on the belly. So, okay. So start to settle in. If you want to take something underneath your hips, if you're seated, you're welcome to. And when you find that shape, let's just take a full breath in through the nose and a nice big sigh out through the mouth. Notice when you exhale how the shoulders soften. Maybe the belly softens. Soften through the hips and thighs. And just take a moment to notice the body. Maybe do a quick scan. Finding any sensations within the body this morning. And trying not to label those sensations as either good or bad. Just finding those areas that maybe feel something a little bit more today. And so start to turn your awareness onto the breath. Following each inhale and each exhale. And just allowing it to flow at its normal pace, in and out of the nose. and take one of your hands right onto the belly space. And notice if you can feel the breath there. So you might feel the expansion and contraction of the waistline as you breathe in and out. Maybe it's subtle, maybe it's a lot, but again, just taking a moment to notice. Notice if there's any tightening of the core muscles. Sometimes when we sit up nice and tall, we tend to tighten those core muscles. So let that area just soften and breathe. And so turning that into a more intentional belly breath, as you breathe in, go ahead and find this really large expansion of the belly, almost like you're filling a balloon with air, letting it open up to its fullest. And then as you exhale, begin to draw the belly button back towards the spine, contracting here, expelling all of the air from the lungs. When you get to the bottom of the breath, take an inhale, let the belly expand, blowing up that balloon, residing in the belly, and then exhaling out of the nose, drawing the belly button back towards the spine so that you can get all of the air out of the lungs. Really contracting those muscles as you release the air. And so just follow that breath pattern, inhaling, expanding through the belly, feeling the waistline open up, and then exhaling, using the muscles of the belly to expel the air from the lungs. Inhaling, exhaling. So starting to feel the belly muscles even warming here. A couple more rounds of that belly breath. Expanding and contracting. Keeping the spine long. The tendency is to sort of round the back as you exhale the air. See if you can find that tall spine. One more inhale. And then one last exhale, really expelling all of the air here. And then just let the breath return to its normal flow. Soften the belly. Maybe you're starting to warm up there in the core area, which is what we want. And if the eyes are closed, you're welcome to keep them there or gently float them open. And we'll take the hands right onto the knees and we'll move through a few just seated cat-cows, warming up our spine here. So take an inhale, start to pull the heart forward, maybe taking the gaze up a bit. And then as you exhale, press into the palms and then start to round your back. Bring the chin towards the chest. Inhale, shift forward, open up the heart space, and then exhale, round through the back. Chin comes to the chest. I'm just moving through that cat-cow as you like. If you need to pause somewhere, take a moment in one over the other, by all means do that. Noticing if you have sensation in the body here that maybe you didn't notice before, especially if this is like the first movement of the day. Just take a couple more rounds here. Gotta get the body a little bit warm before we get into our intervals. And when you feel ready and balanced, go ahead and find your way back to a neutral spine. And then we'll plant our right hand on the mat alongside that right hip. Take that left arm, inhale it up alongside the ear. And then exhale, just find a little side bend over to your right. Keep pressing that left hip down into your mat. And then lengthening all the way from that left hip, up the side ribs, the arm, and out through the left fingertips. So giving yourself a nice full stretch here. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, we'll plant the left hand this time. And then inhaling, right arm up towards the ear, lifting up. And then exhaling, side bending over to your left. Again, rooting into the right hip. Finding that length through the entire right side body, all the way out through the right fingertips. Here's my other kitty. Inhale, back up. And then exhale, just release that arm. All right, moving into a little bit of a twist here. Take an inhale. And then exhale, we'll twist over the right shoulder. Right hand comes behind you, fingertips on the mat. And you can take the left fingertips, left hand onto the right thigh. And then just gaze over the right shoulder to a place where the neck feels comfortable. And just find the breath here, keeping a tall spine. Maybe allowing the breath to move you into that twist a little bit deeper as you exhale. Take one more breath in. And as you breathe out, make your way back to center. Or we'll take an inhale here. And then exhale, twisting over the left shoulder this time. All right, so the left fingertips are behind you on the mat, right hand on the left thigh, and we're gazing over the left shoulder this time. Breathing into your twist, finding that rotation. Again, maybe taking a moment to notice sensation here. Breathe in and breathe out to unwind. Beautiful. So go ahead and take yourself onto your hands and knees, and we'll start to come to a child's pose just for a moment. And we'll take our big toes together. You can keep the knees together to help support the low back, or if it feels okay, you can widen the knees. And then just sink the hips to the heels, let the arms extend, and release the head down to your mat. Settling into that child's pose. Allowing the belly to be soft. So child's pose will be our resting pose between these intervals. So if you joined a little bit late and didn't hear me explain at the beginning, I'll take this time to just sort of explain what our morning will look like. We're going to do 3 sets of what I call yoga intervals or yoga drills, and it will be for core strength. They will be progressive, so you can take that progression with me, or you're welcome to take the same interval all 3 times, okay? Whatever your body needs this morning. Yeah, so we'll do those 3, we'll do 3 moves each time, 30 seconds each, and then we'll take a few breaths in child's pose before moving on to that next interval. And they will be mostly on our hands, so if you want to take this time while you're in child's pose, maybe to just roll out the wrists, give them some love before we come on to them, that might be really helpful. And if you need that at any point, obviously please take that for yourself, and I will cue that during child's pose as well, because we could all use a little wrist love. Okay, so go ahead and take one more breath here in our child's pose. And then just let it out through the mouth. Lovely. All right, so find your way into a tabletop pose. So coming onto hands and knees here, onto your mat, drawing the shoulders over the wrists, and the hips are over the knees. And so just to take some of that pressure off of the wrists, see if you can press a little bit more into the pads of the fingers, into those top knuckles here, and you'll notice that that takes some of the pressure off the wrists. If you want to, another trick you can do is sort of fold the edge of your mat a couple of times, and then place the heel of your hand on top of the roll part, and then fingertips on the floor, and that takes some of the bend, some of that flexions out of the wrists, and that can be really helpful too. All right, so as we're in that tabletop pose, pressing into the knuckles, go ahead and start to press into the tops of the feet. Okay, so really pressing the tops of the feet down into the mat. All right, so notice the difference in the core here. As you press the tops of the feet down, it starts to pull the belly up towards the spine. Can you guys feel that? I wish you guys were in person so you could tell me. Can you feel that?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, yay, my husband can feel that. Okay. All right, so you can feel that the belly is contracting here. This is what we want. Okay, we want to feel the belly drawing up towards the spine. Okay, we don't want to suck it in and hold our breath, right? We just want to have that gentle activation as we move through our poses here. All right, so keep that activation, and I am going to find the timer on my phone here, and we'll start to come into our first interval, and it will be alternating bird dog. Okay, so I'll walk you through it, and then you'll just do it at your own pace for 30 seconds. Okay, I had this set and it didn't get reset. Okay, so belly button to spine. Here we go. On your inhale, you're going to take the left leg out behind you, pressing into the heel. Right arm reaches forward, inhaling. And then exhale, lower it down. Other side. Inhale, left arm forward, right foot back, finding that length. And then exhale, lower it down. Keep the belly drawn in. Inhale, lengthen. So if you want to move a little slower, you can move a little slower. If you want to move a little bit faster, you can move a little bit faster. All right, maybe one more on each side here, just to be even. The last one. So make sure you're moving with the breath. Beautiful. So go ahead and we're moving on to our next one. We're going to do a little dog plank flow. So go ahead and curl the toes under and lift the hips to the sky, coming into a down dog. If you need to take a second just to pedal out the feet, we haven't warmed up the hamstrings much today, really at all. So if you need to take a second here, go ahead and take a second. Not too long because we want to move right into the next one. All right, so pressing into the hands, feet are towards, or heels are towards the mat. And we're gonna find that little plank flow. So inhale, lift the heels, roll the body forward, shoulders come over the wrists. You can keep the knees down for this if you like. And then exhale, use the belly muscles to lift the hips back towards the sky, finding your dog. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhaling, lifting back to dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, dog. Again, your pace here, so if you need to go a little bit faster, if you need to go a little bit slower, by all means, do it. Last one. All right, here we go. So we're meeting back in that downward facing dog. And our last one in this little grouping will be a plank hold. Okay, so if you feel like you need to drop down to elbows to give the wrists a break, you're welcome to do that. Okay, otherwise we're gonna do a 30-second plank hold. Ready? So go ahead and shift forward, find your plank, okay? Shoulders are over the wrists here. Press into the palms, lift the chest away from your mat. Draw the belly button to spine, so find that core activation. And draw the kneecaps up into the quads so that the legs are nice and active. All right, and try not to look back at your feet the whole time. It's a sad plank. You don't want a sad plank. It's the morning. Let's make it good. All right, so take one more breath. And then exhale, lower the knees to your mat. Shift the hips back, find a child's pose. So coming into that resting place. And if child's pose is not a restful place for you, I understand that for some of us it's not. And for me, sometimes it's just not. You're welcome to find, a shape that feels restful here. If you are in child's pose, you can keep the arms extended. Sometimes taking the arms back alongside the legs with the palms up feels really nice for the shoulders. Okay, so slow the breath in this child's pose. allowing for the expansion and contraction of the waistline. We're not going to stay here too long because we want to move right into that next section. All right. So here we go. So go ahead and find your way back into your tabletop pose. So the shoulders are over the wrists once again. Okay. So for this one, we're going to start off with a hovering table. So tuck the toes under. All right. And when I say go, I don't want you to have to do it before I start my timer. We're just gonna lift the knees off of the mat. So you're in like a little hovering table. So the knees will just be a couple of inches off the mat. All right, so drawing the belly button to spine here before we start. And here we go, press into the palms, lift those knees. All right, press into the hands. Try not to let the chest sag. Lifting it away from the mat. And make sure you're breathing. Sometimes you come to these core poses and we forget to breathe, so make sure that you're breathing in and out of the nose. So if this is too much, you can come back to that bird dog, right? You can just repeat that little 3-part that we started with. And then exhale, we're gonna come right into a downward facing dog. Okay, extending the legs, hips high. Okay? All right, take a moment in your dog. All right, and we're gonna do a 3-legged dog, shifting to a 3-legged plank. If you don't like that idea, you can just find that dog plank flow from last time. All right, here we go. Inhale, right leg reaches up and back. Exhale, keep it hovering as you shift forward to plank pose. Inhale, press it back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, lower that right foot down. We're gonna do the other side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, shift it forward, 3-legged plank. Keep the hips level here. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, lower down. All right, other side. Inhale. Exhale to shift forward. Inhale, press back. Exhale, lower it down. Let's do one more on the other side. Inhale, lift. Exhale, shift forward. Inhale, press back. Exhale, beautiful, lower it down. All right, last one in this series. We're gonna do plank, and we're gonna add some shoulder taps here. Okay, so if you don't want to do that, just come back to that plank pose. I'm sorry, I have this hair that's driving me nuts. Okay, so either plank or we're gonna add those shoulder taps. Okay, and when we come to these shoulder taps, you really wanna make sure that your body's stable and that you're not sort of listing from one side to the other here, okay? All right, so go ahead and come into that plank pose. Shoulders are over the wrists, belly is tight. And here we go, we're just gonna tap the opposite shoulder with the hand. Little taps. So it's really easy to do this, right? Kind of get some momentum, but we really want to see how stable we can be. It's much more activating for the core to try to stay in that stable position. Keep breathing. One more. All right, and now we'll lower the knees down. Find that restful pose, child's pose. Soften the breath. Whew. How we doing? All right, so we'll be doing one more round. Stay here for a few more breaths. I'm not taking you out of this rest yet. We'll be doing one more round of those 3 poses. Go ahead and circle out the wrists. We've been on them quite a bit. If you want to take one of the others that we have done, another set of those 3 poses, and do those this time, by all means, do that. All right, like I said, we're gonna be progressing a little bit harder each time, a little bit more activating for the core. But you could stay with that first section and get so much core work, right? Just repeating. So pick what works for you. All right, and when you feel ready, let's make our way to our tabletop pose. All right, so for this one, I'm gonna just do a quick demo for our first one before we start, okay? It's kind of like a hovering bird dog, okay? So just like we did before, we're gonna curl our toes under. So you're welcome to try it with me, or if you just wanna watch for a second. I'm gonna kind of turn to the side. Okay, we're gonna curl the toes under and then lift the knees. All right, and from here, keeping the knees lifted, we're gonna do that bird dog. All right, so you can just maybe take one leg out, okay? If you can, maybe you take the opposite arm as well. Okay, that's a lot of balance. It's really difficult. I'm not sure I have it in me today. All right, so that's kind of our hovering bird dog, okay? If you want to just hover, you can just hover, okay? Or maybe you just add an arm or just a leg. All right, are we ready? We good? All right, here we go. Hover those knees, draw the belly in, decide. Maybe you extend one arm, one leg. We're keeping the knees hovering the whole time though. Okay? That back leg doesn't have to be up at hip height. It may just be hovering an inch or two. Or maybe you extend it out and take the toes to the mat. You still get that hovering, right? And we're breathing. One more on each side. Whew. All right. And now we'll just press it back to our downward facing dog once again. Take a moment here. Maybe take a breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. All right, we're gonna move right into our next one. Again, if you want to come back to your three-legged dog, to three-legged plank, you could try that, or find your dog plank flow, okay? We are going to, if you're gonna come and stay with me in this progression, we're gonna do a little elbow tap with that, okay? Here we go. Inhale, right leg reaches up and back. Exhale, draw it into the nose. Knee pulls in. Inhale, press back. Exhale, tap the left elbow. Inhale, press back. Exhale, tap the right elbow. Inhale, press back. Exhale, set the right leg down. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bring it into the chest. Inhale, reach it back. Exhale, tap the right elbow. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, tap the left elbow. Inhale, press it back. Exhale, lower it down. Beautiful, that's it. All right, so go ahead, and for our last move here, we're gonna drop down onto our knees just for a moment and come onto the elbows, okay? So now the elbows are underneath the shoulder. You can take the palms down with the forearms parallel. I like to clasp my hands and press the pinky side into the mat. It feels better for my shoulders, okay? So we're gonna do a 30-second hold in a forearm plank, all right? You can keep the knees down on the mat if you like, or you can lift them. All right, we ready? All right, here we go. Time starts. Press into the pinky, step one foot back and then the other. And then you can either keep the knees lifted with active legs. You're welcome to lower the knees at any point here. And continue to press into the elbows, just like we pressed into the palms in our plank pose. We're pressing into the elbows, okay? Draw the tailbone down into the hamstrings. Okay, try not to let that booty pop, okay? We're breathing in and out of the nose. Belly is strong. Take one more breath. And then exhale, lower the knees. Press it back. Find our child's pose. Maybe take the arms alongside the legs. Let the palms face up. Rest your head on your mat. Soften through the upper back and shoulders. Slow down the breath. Beautifully done. Start to let everything slow down. And so if you really feel like you want a little extra, you could repeat that cycle once again, or any piece of that cycle again. You could add that into a yoga flow and sort of build it around that, or you could just do it as a standalone core So allow yourself a few more breaths in that child's pose. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and rise up. Pressing yourself upright and just swing the legs around. I think that we have time for one last little interval. Yeah, good? Okay, so we're gonna do this, will help our wrists. We won't be on our wrists for this one, we'll be on our bums for this one. And then we will come into our final rest for a few moments after that. All right, so go ahead and maybe take a little scooch with your booty up, bend the knees, soles of the feet on your mat. We're gonna do like a little boat. I'm gonna set my timer here. A boat interval. Okay, and again, take it how it works for your body, okay? So sitting up nice and tall, go ahead and prep for that boat by rolling the shoulders back so that the chest stays broad. And just start by taking the hands behind the knees. All right, I'll start that timer in just a moment, so get into that prep here. All right, come onto the toes. All right, this could be your boat, right? This could be your boat absolutely right here. If you want, I'm gonna go ahead and start our timer. You're welcome to bring the shins parallel to the mat, okay? Now you can keep the hands here, give yourself a little support, or you can extend the arms, like you're reaching them towards the front of the mat, okay? But keeping the shoulders rolled back. Maybe turn the corners of the mouth up. Smiling helps when you come into these poses. Breathe. And let it go. Feet to the mat. Take a moment just to round the back over the legs. We're gonna come right into the next section. Okay? So we're gonna add a little twist to our boat. Okay, so again, you can keep the feet on the mat, okay, and just find a little lean back and we'll add the twist that way, or you can float the feet, okay? Yogi's choice. It's always yogi's choice, let's be honest. All right, so we'll all start together, hands behind the knees, find that lean back. So start to find that lean, keep the chest broad, belly is strong here. Decide if you want to float the legs or not, okay? And then we'll take the palms together. Again, feet can be on the mat for this, okay? Palms together. We're gonna take an inhale, center. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. So follow that pattern. Inhale, exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep the chest broad. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. One more time, other side. Back to center, inhale. Exhale, lower the feet. Take a second to round the back over the legs. And we'll do one more in this section, and then we're coming down for our rest. Okay, so this one will be a boat to canoe. All right, so boat can be here with the feet down, or here with the feet lifted, shins parallel. Okay, to come into canoe, we're gonna lower and extend the legs, and then come back up. Okay, lower and come back up. Again, you can do this with the feet on the mat. Maybe you just lower here and come up, more like a sit-up. Okay, so, all right. So make your choice, and if you need to change it up mid 30 seconds, do it. Listen to your body. Okay, last one. Are we ready? All right, turn those corners of the mouth up. Prep it. Find your little boat prep. Hands behind the knees. Make your choice, feet down or floating. Ready? Here we go. We're gonna inhale, lower it down. Exhale, bring it up. Okay, follow that pattern. Inhale to lower and extend. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, bring it back up. Inhale, canoe. Exhale, boat. Inhale. Got 10 seconds, guys. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Woo. One or two more. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And feet down. Round over the back. We've done it. Soften the breath. go ahead and just come onto the belly. So swing the legs around. Let's give our front body a little bit of a stretch. So come onto the belly. Take the legs behind you, tops of the feet to the mat. Draw the hands underneath the shoulders. We're gonna do a little cobra. Stretch out the front body, okay? So hug the elbows in towards the rib cage. Draw the tailbone down into the hamstrings. Press into the palms on your inhale. Start to lift the head, the neck, the heart. You can just come up halfway. Maybe it feels okay to rise up a little bit further so that you can stretch out the front body here. Okay, keeping the elbows hugged in towards the ribs. All right, we don't want to lock the elbows out, so keep them bent slightly. Shoulders drawing away from the ears. Take one more breath in. And as you breathe out, go ahead and lift the hips, shift back into your child's pose one more time. Whew. Just for a couple of breaths. Countering that back bend. And then when you feel ready, you can go ahead and rise back up. Bring the legs back in front of you. Lower all the way down onto your back. Take a moment to spread the legs out to each corner of the mat. And then taking the arms to the upper corners of the mat, coming into a star pose. And then as you breathe in, reach through the fingertips, stretching through the toes, opening up into that star. And then as you exhale, open up the mouth and let the body go. And you can stay here, or you can take the arms down alongside of you, whichever feels best. And just allow the body to soften here into your Shavasana. And then from here, go ahead and take a hand onto the heart, one to the belly. And take a moment in reconnection to your breath. Feeling it move from belly to heart space and heart space back to belly. Beginning to reconnect with the body by moving the fingers, giving the toes a wiggle. Maybe gently just moving the head from side to side. And it might feel good to take the arms over the head and just find a nice full body stretch. Lengthening everything out before letting it all go. Bending the knees. And just start to take yourself onto one side or the other and take a moment to pause there. And then take your time bringing yourself back into a comfortable seat, whatever shape that looks like for you. And then we'll meet with our palms together right at our heart space and press the thumbs into the chest. Maybe closing the eyes or just gazing softly down at your mat. Maybe noticing how your body feels after that movement. Thank you so much for being here and sharing this time with me and allowing me to guide you through something a little bit different on our Wednesday mornings. I hope you have a fantastic day and a wonderful rest of your week. Namaste, my friends.
Namaste.